Turning to one of my favorite subjects, the media. So I think yesterday was a real great symbol of how they've also learned nothing. Chuck Todd on his MSNBC show had Jennifer Palmieri on. She was communications chair for Hillary Clinton's campaign. Actually, WikiLeaks showed that Chuck Todd's wife, I think, held her birthday party at her home, which was astounding. Palmieri basically said, we got to turn to identity politics. The answer is not moving to the left. But it seems like, the cushiness, the line kind of being there's no line between the media, the people they cover, and also the media dangerously, as you've reported terrifically on, just like, propping up this Russia, this Red Scare, this Cold War. That hasn't stopped. The media has assisted the Democrats in making that the main issue. What's your thoughts in this age? Because I agree that there needs to be tough media coverage of Trump, but I'm not really seeing that tough media coverage. I'm seeing more hysteria instead of actually focusing on the policy.
Yeah, I mean, when I look at these kind of large media outlets like NBC and Chuck Todd and even like the cable news hosts, and then when I look at establishment Democratic operatives like Jennifer Palmieri or John Podesta or whatever, what I see are these kind of like huge, slimy beasts who at one point in the very distant past kind of were powerful and invoked fear. They went around growling and beating their chest. And now they're just kind of like obsolete and broken and laying on the ground, unsure of why they can't get up, just sort of like beached. And they keep trying to do the things that used to work for them, and all it does is just kind of like sputter impotently. And they know that they've lost their command over everything. I mean, what's so extraordinary about the last year in American politics is that virtually every establishment faction, large media outlets, moneyed interests, Wall Street, the Democratic Party, all these new media pundits united across ideological and partisan lines against Donald Trump, and yet they lost. And I don't think establishment power has been dealt quite that blow in the United States for a very long time. Maybe you have to go back to like Theodore Roosevelt's administration or a little bit before that to find a time when establishment authority has been quite so undermined. And so, Chuck Todd talking to Jennifer Palmieri is the sort of conversation that 10 years ago might have been significant. And now it's just like two irrelevant, kind of archaic blasts from the past, just chattering pathetically to one another. And what's really going on, where the real action is obviously on the anti-establishment right, which just elected not just a presidential candidate, but empowered, their entire previously marginalized movement. And then the kind of anti-establishment left, which is growing, which almost took down Hillary Clinton despite no money and no establishment backing. And that's where all the energy is. And so these mainstream institutions on both the left and the right that have kind of clinging to one another know that they are losing power and relevance very quickly. And so, yeah, you're right. They're going to just keep doing what they've always done because it's all they know, but it matters less and less and less. And I actually think that's a sign of a cause for encouragement.